Good morning, and welcome to IUP's Graduate Commencement Ceremony. I'm Michael Driscoll, President of IUP. Please, everyone, stand now for the presentation of colors and our national anthem, sung by Andrew Piper, a senior music education and vocal performance major who graduates later today. The graduation brass ensemble will accompany him.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. Piper. The presence of friends and family is what makes occasions like this most special. Because not all can make the trek to Indiana or be with us here today, I want to give special greetings to the families who join us through our live webcast. We are honored to have with us members of the IUP Council of Trustees. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Gailey Walwork, and Chairperson of the Council of Trustees, Sam Smith. Thank you for all you do to support and advance IUP. I will now introduce members of the President's Cabinet, deans, and faculty members on the platform who will not be speaking during the ceremony. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all are introduced. Dr. Rhonda Lucky, Vice President for Student Affairs. Mr. Bill Speidel, Vice President for University Advancement. Dr. Cornelius Wooten, Vice President for Administration and Finance, Ms. Robin Gorman, Executive Assistant to the President for Government and Community Relations, Dr. Pablo Mendoza, Assistant to the President for Social Equity, Mr. Michael Hood, Dean of the College of Fine Arts, Dr. Robert Camp, Dean of the Eberly College of Business and Information Technology, Dr. Mary Williams, Interim Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, Dr. Yao Asamoah, Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Dr. Lloyd Anyet, Assistant Dean of the College of Education and Educational Technology, Mr. Richard Muth, Director, Regional Campuses, Dr. David Piper, a name you've heard just a moment ago, the father of a soon-to-be graduate and happens to be chairperson of the University Senate, and our Grand Marshal, Dr. Robert Millward. Please join me in welcoming the platform party. Members of the faculty who are with us this morning, please stand and be recognized. I ask members of the audience to please join the platform party and graduates in expressing our gratitude for the contributions that the faculty has made to ensure the success of today's graduates. You may be seated. Our student speaker, Erin Mavis Geidish, is a doctoral student in the English Literature and Criticism program. Erin received an award for outstanding scholarship, is the former president of the English Graduate Organization, a Safe Zone member, and a volunteer at our Kathleen Jones Writing Center. Erin graduates today with her doctoral degree. Please welcome Erin Mavis Geidish.
I'd like to open my remarks today by taking a moment to appreciate where we, the graduates, are and the efforts we put in to get here. So congratulate yourselves. I also want to take a minute to recognize all of you who are here to watch us, because you have supported us as much as we have worked to get here. So thank you guys as well. I'm going to transition into my remarks now by playing a little bit of a game with you. It's sort of a verbal version of those circle the similarities that you see in the Sunday comics. I'm going to list a few people, and I'd like for you to try to figure out what's the same about them. Here's the list: Abraham Lincoln, J.K. Rowling, Marilyn Monroe, and Dr. Seuss. The answer is that before their successes, they all failed or were rejected. While today honors those of us who have worked hard to be successful, and it is important to revel in our victories, I'd like to stress the importance of a few lessons we have hopefully learned through our time at IUP, reflected by some of these more famous stories. To further illustrate this lesson, I'm going to tell a little story, because I'm an English major, so that's what we do. We tell stories. While I do, I invite you graduates to reflect on a similar story of your own, because I'm sure you have one. Mine comes from a master's level course when I was taking a class in Leonard Hall, and I'm sure you all have a Leonard Hall of your own that will always feel like your IUP home, where you struggled and grew as a scholar. So picture it: Leonard Hall, wintertime in Indiana, PA, if you can imagine, just before night class starts. As my cohort is nearing the end of our journey to our master's degree, we chat about our futures. I brag to one of my peers that I'm going to have no kids and no marriage. I'm just going to dedicate myself to my students and my books. At this point, one of my mentors, Dr. Thompson, walks into the room, grins widely, and remarked something to the effect of, "We know not what the future will bring." We move on with our day and discuss our reading. The point of this story and its connection back to my opening is that I failed. I'm engaged and considering the possibility of a family someday. And my professor and mentor recognized the interesting dichotomy between what we perceive our futures as and where we actually go. IUP, with its faculty and peers, sets up for students a place to grow, personally and professionally. Through our times here, I have no doubt that you have encountered diverse people and a variety of possibilities for where our future may go. Being here shows us that we don't have to give up one lifestyle for another. The various ages, religions, and nationalities here show us that. We don't have to neglect our families for our careers. Our many successful professors and peers exemplify that balancing act. The diversity here shows that we can tailor our careers. We can have second, third, or even fourth careers. We, people and humans, are much more complex than our appearances or our studies suggest. And we learn about these amazing differences from one another as we participate in the IUP community, studying, reflecting, and teaching together. My growth in these programs has been more than intellectual, and I hope as you depart, fellow graduates, you can say the same. As my introduction noted, being here has given me the opportunity to reconceive of success and failure. So as I wrap up my thoughts on the takeaways for the graduates today, I hope there's some inspiration to leave IUP with more than just an education and networking capabilities. I hope that you maintain the ability to change perspectives, challenge norms, and resituate failures. My charge to the graduating class is to fail boldly and draw success from such obstacles. Be the change you wish to see going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. It says in my script, Ms. Guidish, and I know we haven't gone through the formalities yet, but I am the president, so thank you, Dr. Guidish. Great remarks. Today, the 2016 Distinguished University Professor David Downing will provide the commencement address. The Distinguished University Professorship is a lifetime honor bestowed on exemplary faculty members who have demonstrated a commitment to teaching and research. During his tenure as Distinguished University Professor, Dr. Downing continues his scholarly work focused on two projects: an interactive multimedia website that will serve as a companion to his most recent book, Just Theory, An Alternative History of the Western Tradition, and on his next book, University Uprising, a diorama of social crises in higher education from 1798 to 2018. His research has made important contributions nationally and internationally. He serves on many governing boards and in his discipline, and a more extensive profile of Dr. Downing's work can be found on page 4 of the commencement program. Please join me in welcoming David Downing.
Thank you. First, I have to say, it's such a great pleasure to speak following Erin Guidish. My distinguished colleague, Todd Thompson, directed her dissertation, but I had the good fortune to be a member of her committee, so congratulations again, Dr. Guidish. I don't think I've ever called you that even. Thank you, Dr. Driscoll. Thank you to the members of the Council of Trustees who are here. Thank you to everyone up here and everyone out there. It really did take all of you to get me up here. That's because we live interdependently, not independently. Your own stories of how you got to this special day reveal your community support networks, and I don't just mean Twitter and Facebook. My story as someone who was taught at IUP for 28 years would have something to do with how I came to love the institution and the community that has given me my professional life. But before you flip those tassels, I want to bundle all of our personal stories within a slightly longer story of, say, a few 100 million years. But hey, not to worry. The great thing about telling stories is that you can leave most everything out. The story begins right now. You are graduating in truly extraordinary times. The Arctic ice cap now covers just half the area it did 30 years ago, and 30 years from now, it may well be gone entirely. Since the 1970s, Caribbean coral reefs have declined by 80%, and in the last 30 years, the Great Barrier Reef has diminished by 50%. The atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration is now higher than any time in the past 800,000 years. Total global temperature increases for the past century is about the same as temperature variations during the ice ages, which took thousands of years, but today's rate is at least 10 times faster than during any of the 20 ice ages. Consequently, the loss of biodiversity is astonishing. 24% of all species alive on the planet today will be headed to extinction by 2050, just about the time many of you will be in the peak of your careers. We are indeed living in the age of the sixth extinction. Since the arrival on Earth of complex species with backbones about 500 million years ago in the late Triassic period, there have been 5 episodes in geological history of massive global extinction. They're called the Big Five, thus we are the sixth. Each of the previous 5 represents a sudden, in a geological timescale, loss of biodiversity. We are all familiar with number 5, the extinction of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago during the end of the Cretaceous period. But the biggest mass extinction was number 3, called the end Permian extinction, or the mother of all extinctions, about 250 million years ago when, get this, nearly 90% of the species alive on the planet died. We don't always know the causes of these sudden mass extinctions, although we do know that number 5 had something to do with the catastrophic impact of an asteroid near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. And number 6 right now is largely caused by human activity, so that about 5,000 species are vanishing every year, about 14 species per day. The extinction rate for amphibians, the most endangered class of animals, is calculated to be about 45,000 times greater than what scientists call the more normal or background extinction rate. In short, we haven't cared very well for the planet on which we live. So I want you to think of climate change as one crucial phase of what many have called the crisis of care. For the last 40 years, this crisis has been on a rampage. In simple terms, it means that concern for profit in markets have counted for more than care for our social bonds and common good. In our lifetime, liberal democracies around the world have been rushing to divest themselves of any answerability to basic human needs, such as health care, child care, elderly care, immigrant care, racial care, gender care, housing care, environmental care, and education care. Very little is being offered to replace those vital resources for our families and our communities. Somehow, this unsustainable cycle for more sacrifice by those citizens with the least resources, this is not the version of the good life that any of us really wants. And what you should ask has this crisis of care had to do with higher education. First, after the Second World War, this nation invested deeply in higher education through the GI Bill and the National Defense Education Act. These investments represent one of the great social experiments of modern times. It produced the most dynamic system of higher education on the face of the earth. Some real care was provided for you, or I should say for me and my generation, because anyone from a middle-class background could dream of attending a university. Higher education grew exponentially from 4 million students in 1945 to 12 million in 1980. By 1970, the higher education system in the United States was the envy of the world. It had the highest graduation rates of any nation on the planet. Then the crisis of care settled in, and here's what happened. 40 years later, the US now ranks 29th out of 30 in terms of graduation rates among the developed nations of the world. Closer to home, in 1983, when PASHI was formed, the state provided 67% of the operating budget. Today, the state provides less than 25%. Many states have had even more devastating cuts, and we wonder why tuition has gone up by nearly 300% just since 1990 to 2012. And that represents twice the increase seen in healthcare. It's amazing. None of us in this room today is proud of the fact that Pennsylvania ranks 49th out of the 50 states in terms of funding for per capita spending on higher education. And in terms of supply and demand, demand has been off the charts. The funding cuts have all happened at the same time that U.S. college enrollment rose from 12 million, remember, in 1980, to more than 20 million today. Now, I know, so far, I haven't exactly cheered you up and cheered you on. So I'm going to have to change things here. But optimism and hope are on their way, even in this talk. The great thing about learning the truth is that it often makes you into a different kind of human being. Power often trumps the truth or crushes it for a while, but that doesn't mean we should stop fighting for it. The word of the year is that we live in a post-truth era where the new normal is fake news and misinformation all around. But our caring for truth, open inquiry, and informed judgment are at the heart of any democracy, and certainly at the heart of what education is all about. And indeed, it is a hard time to listen with gracious and open hearts. Even in our culture of speed, stress, and crisis, we need to commit ourselves to a culture of compassion where hope, humility, and resilience can thrive. For that to happen, we need to see higher education as the public good that it is. There is no institution in modern life better suited for caring about our difference. Indeed, as you all know, tolerance of differences is one of the great virtues of a liberal arts education. But here's the paradox. Your college education has made you more intolerant of one thing. And I'm so glad it has. Sociologists have now documented that by the time you graduate, you've become less tolerant of inequality. Now, I'm going to leave it to you to figure out what caused that to happen, but somehow your education has willy-nilly made you care more about social justice. Of course, it takes a great deal of courage to act on that commitment. Courage and commitment bring me to the 3 days in October when so many of us stood up to resist more inequality. Not one of us wanted to go on strike, but we all stood on those picket lines not just to fight for better salaries and benefits. We stood up because we cared about both quality and equality in public higher education for all citizens in this state. And then it happened. Beginning at 7 a.m. on October 19, the remarkable and totally unexpected turn of events, an absolute reversal of the crisis of care. You students were taking care of us, faculty. You brought us donuts and coffee and pizza and sandwiches and wraps and candy and drinks. You brought music, drums, banners, and poetry. Who will forget grad student Wes McMaster's reading Allen Ginsberg's Howl with a handheld megaphone on Oakland Ave? We have always known that this is why we do what we do, but rarely do we get the chance to hear you tell us how much you appreciated all that we do. Despite the obvious risk and worry, it was this weird sense of great pleasure in being there and great anguish at having to be there. These acts of caring are also the gift that my colleagues bring to you every day. That's how we've handled the crisis of care at IUP, by caring more about the quality of our educational and social communities, and refusing to accept, among many other things, any effort to divide the faculty so that the most vulnerable of our colleagues, temporary faculty, might then get only 50% of the raises granted to tenure-track faculty. We would not let that happen. And so I can stand here proudly and say something you may already know, but I want to make sure not one of you leaves here without a sense of what makes this university so distinctive. Remember when earlier this year, many people laughed at Bernie Sanders' wild suggestion that we should return to a 75% tenured faculty in higher education like it was in 1975? Well, no joke. That is exactly what we have here in the state of Pennsylvania through the protection of collective bargaining. Our APSCUF contract specifies that no university within the system can employ more than 25% contingent faculty. We are indeed an historical anomaly. Despite all the funding cuts, Pennsylvania is the only state in the nation that has preserved a 75% tenure-track faculty. And how about this? There are now 335 doctoral granting universities in the United States. Only one of those 335 can say that their university has a 75% tenure-track faculty. That one university is the one you are about to graduate from. Nevertheless, because the crisis of care is still so much with us, the evidence of the sixth extinction is now in, and the bill has come due. Escalating inequality and devastating forms of climate change go hand in hand with the crisis. That's the ultimate challenge for all of us. I hope you will all draw on this wonderful education you have received so that you will commit yourselves to being the stewards of a vibrant public sphere. Creating a strong, affordable, well-financed public higher education system is crucial to that project. Unfortunately, those public spaces are going extinct about as fast as the Earth's flora and fauna. Our response to the crisis of care must be more caring for the right kind of things. Even in dark times, I, for one, am optimistic that we can end the language of crisis. And the great thing is that this kind of caring feels good. Engaged citizenship in a supportive community is a great source of personal satisfaction and self-care, not a recipe for self-denial. As one of my heroes, Bruce Springsteen, the boss, put it, when you can't always see the light, just remember that you can't light a fire without a spark. You are the many sparks that will light up a more sustainable world. You will face so many pressures to crush those dreams. Try not to let that happen. I challenge you all to lead us toward such a better future. But for now, party on down. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Downing. In a lasting tradition that continues today, the music program at IUP has always been a core strength. Its ensembles have toured internationally, and today they share their talent with us. Please enjoy the Graduation Brass Ensemble's version of Bach's My Spirit Be Joyful from Cantata 146.
Good morning, and thank you to the Graduation Brass Ensemble for that wonderful selection. I'm Timothy Moreland, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, and it's my privilege to add congratulations to each of you today. Well done. You and your families can be proud, and I want you to enjoy this accomplishment. At the same time, I must remind you that because of your distinction, you have a burden to bear. You will be called upon to put your knowledge to use in your chosen field and to help save the problems facing our nation and our world. But we're in good hands. I'm confident that your experiences at IUP have prepared you well for this challenge, and I look forward to hearing of your many accomplishments in the years ahead. I'm now pleased to introduce Dr. Randy Martin, Dean of the School of Graduate Studies and Research. Dr. Martin.
Good morning. There's a lot of hardy souls out there. This is tough weather. It's nice to see all of you here. Congratulations to our graduates, and welcome to family members, friends, colleagues, and guests of honor. Attaining your graduate degree is going to change the rest of your life in a very positive way. The degree you earn today will have a ripple effect, beginning with you and extending to others, to your communities and your workplaces. Let me offer some advice. Take what you have learned and use it to improve the quality of life of others. Make a difference. Be important in the life of another. Don't accept second best for yourself ever. Most important of all, try to be a better person tomorrow than you are today. I wish you luck and good fortune as you continue on your lifelong journey.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. I now ask Dr. Martin to preside over the conferring of degrees. Dr. Moreland and our trustees will join us in greeting candidates as they process across the stage.
Doctoral degree candidates, please rise. President Driscoll, I have the honor to present these candidates for the Doctor of Education, Doctor of Philosophy, and Doctor of Psychology.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Council of Trustees of Indiana University of Pennsylvania and the Board of Governors of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, and on recommendation of the faculty and graduate dean, and subject to completion of all degree requirements, I confer upon you the doctoral degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. As testament of this accomplishment, you will receive a doctoral hood which signifies your attainment of this advanced degree.
Heather DeGroot Carr, an analysis of varying instructional time and the association with third grade reading and mathematics proficiency on the Pennsylvania System of School Assessment, chaired by Dr. William Barker. Byron McClure, investigation of CASEL select programs with minority students in high poverty communities, chaired by Dr. Mark McGowan. Janelle A. McKenzie, intensive and systematic training in working memory. Does it have validity for improving reading achievement? Chaired by Dr. Mark McGowan. Mariah Shields, perceptions of program directors of dual enrollment programs that offer high school students with disabilities an inclusive higher education experience, a qualitative study, chaired by Dr. Anna Hill. Susan Griffith, self-contained autism support classrooms, identifying perceptions of strength and areas of need and improvement in 3 public Western Pennsylvania districts, chaired by Dr. Valerie Heltzebran. Erin Mavis Guidish, fabulous ordinariness and self-making, the other side of Usonian identities, chaired by Dr. Todd Thompson. Ian James Short, determining effectiveness of color overlay intervention for scotopic sensitivity iron syndrome in high school students with learning disabilities in reading, chaired by Dr. Gianna Laverick. Michael J. Swager, making meaning of social studies curriculum writing in high poverty multi-ethnic school, a phenomenological study, chaired by Dr. Gianna Laverick. Becky Lee Piscatella, stress, burnout, and attrition, implications of student performance data on math teacher effectiveness evaluations, chaired by Dr. Valerie Heltzebran. Jacqueline Renee Durst, an investigation of the relationships between leadership practices of undergraduate athletic training program directors and program performance on the BOC examination, chaired by Dr. David Piper. Joseph Rosenberg, leadership development among fraternity presidents, can leadership be learned, chaired by Dr. David Piper. Edward Zelich, parent and teacher perceptions of effective types of parental involvement activities in low socioeconomic, high-performing elementary schools, chaired by Dr. Megan Twist. Brian C. Johnson, movie effects on social dominance orientation of undergraduate students, chaired by Dr. Naraya Muchtar. Christine Schaefer, the treatment of nonprofit and for-profit organizations in local television news broadcasts, a study applying the theoretical constructs of media agenda setting and framing. David Tucker, the phenomenological exploration of user design among junior undergraduate students majoring in computer science in a medium-sized liberal arts university when developing a game prototype, chaired by Dr. Mark Powinski. Nicholas Artman, From Eric to Tarzan, an ethical analysis of lead male characters in Disney animation films produced during the company's Renaissance era, chaired by Dr. Zachary Stiegler. Brandon James Zuminski, Source of Controversy, Newspaper Reporters Sourcing Practices in Coverage of Natural Gas Drilling, chaired by Dr. Zachary Stiegler. Taysir Abu Oda, Counterpoint, Exile, and Late Style in the Work of Edward Said, Mahmoud Darwish, and Noreen Farah, chaired by Dr. Susan Comfort. Catherine Kelly, Portrayals of Multilingual Speakers of English in 6 Years of USA Today, chaired by Dr. Sharon Deckert. Janelle Lynn Newman, Recontextualizations of Families of Linguistic and Cultural Diversity and Educational E-Discourse, a discourse analysis of representation, accessibility, and ideological values in parent involvement, chaired by Dr. Lilia Savova. Stephen Matthew Zimmerly, The Sidekick Comes of Age, Tracing the Growth of Secondary Characters in Young Adult Literature, chaired by Dr. Chris Kuipers. Andrew Jeter, High School Peer Tutor Alumni Research Project, chaired by Dr. Ben Rafath. Erica Forrester, Assessing Stress and Coping Among Federal Probation Officers, chaired by Dr. Alex Heckert. Adam Lawrence Clark, the effects of the Big Five personality factors and adverse childhood events on leadership emergence in an online violence prevention discussion group, chaired by Dr. Pearl Berman. Travis Berger, Presenting a Framework and Process for Designing Leadership Development Programs as Sustainable Competitive Advantages, a case study at Hershey Entertainment and Resorts, chaired by Dr. John Anderson. Sherry Bennett Chippo, A Study of the Relationship Between Transportation Infrastructure and Criminal Behavior, chaired by Dr. John Anderson.
Please join me in congratulating our new doctoral degree recipients. Dr. Martin, please present the candidate for the Master of Fine Arts degree.
Master of Fine Arts degree candidate, please rise. President Driscoll, I have the honor of presenting the candidate for the Master of Fine Arts degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Council of Trustees of Indiana University of Pennsylvania and the Board of Governors of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, and on recommendation of the faculty and graduate dean and subject to completion of all degree requirements, I confer upon you the Master of Fine Arts degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. As a testament of this accomplishment, you will receive a hood which signifies your attainment of this advanced degree. Please come forward.
Dana Eve Resnick, Outside, Inside, and Eros, chaired by Dr. Kevin Turner.
Let's congratulate our Master of Fine Arts degree recipient. Dr. Martin, please present the candidates for the Master of Arts, Education, Science, Business Administration, and Professional Science.
Thank you, President Driscoll. All recipients of the Master of Arts, Education, Science, Business Administration, and Professional Science, please rise. I have the honor to present these recipients of master's degrees in academic disciplines in graduate studies.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Council of Trustees of Indiana University of Pennsylvania and the Board of Governors of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, and on recommendation of the faculty and graduate dean, and subject to completion of all degree requirements, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, or Professional Science Masters. You may now move your tassels to the left side. Please come forward to the stage to receive your diploma.
Carla R. Adams. Emran Al Khalifa. Ahmed Mazen Ahmadaya. Ahmed Abdulrahman Al Suahan. Kayla May Bash. Mandy Lynn Bell. Rufaidi bin Ayed. Nathan Chad Black.
Thank you so much.
Ashley Nicole Q-City. Kristen Marie Deal. Jedediah Thomas Fetterman. Allison Ivy Ganster. Heather Ann Gowan. Christina Grants. Danielle Sudell Graves. Victoria Kelly Jones. Melissa Rose Kusick. Suzanne Nictula. Megan Marie Pritchard. Amanda Marie Puzak. Carly Jean Smathers. Marion Smeltzer. Joshua Matthew Stauffer. Lindsay E. Weaver. Brandon Matthew Weber. Iwe Su. Alexandra Yamrick. Abdulrahman Yahya Halawani. Talal Mohammed Kamaj. Shayati Adhikari. Mohammed Albadar. Hussein Yosef Akatidi. Matthew Orlando Bash. Sachin Bandari. Caitlin Elizabeth Birch. Angela Carosa. Adam J. Chekot. Linheng Deng. Olawale Samuel Helegure. Jin Jin. Varki Jose. Roshni Lakshminarayana. AJ Kumar Mataru. Zifeng Ning. Karen Singh Parmar. Rodney Stephen Scott. Rita Springer. Vijaya Saradi Suvakasi. Arjun Swami. Anusha Ro Taliyakula. Amanda M. Versavic. Shashank Garenja. Bindu Goadar. Bhagwati Bautada. Salani Rati. Munif Afit Athifari. Michelle Cole Gillot. Kristen Ray Hughes. Lauren Michelle Carnes. Allison Mittmeyer. Brandy Lee Shine. Anthony Paul Turman. Suad Ahmad Al-Abu Latif. Nouf Afit Al-Dathafari. Rokaya Mirza Al-Matruk. Abdulaziz Ali Al-Zahrani. Linda Avampeto Carr. Samir Farouk. Peter K. Frenchak. Elizabeth Handler. Dana Ann Keith. Abdulaziz MD. Jason Meyer. Amanda M. Monet. Ismail Ogunbabale. Matthew Joseph Rockna. Laura Elizabeth Rucci. Aubrey Noel Soloka. Brittany Nicole Sarver. Sophia Louise Santo. Abrar Saud Tayar. Brianna Lynn Toth. Eric J. Vescovi. Ohud Aldokmi.
Please join me in congratulating the new master's degree recipients.
I'm pleased to introduce John Ninoski, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, to welcome our new graduates to the IUP Alumni Association.
Good morning, and congratulations to our graduates. Congratulations to their families. Attaining an advanced degree is certainly not easy and can't be done without the support that you would have received from the friends and family that I'm sure are here with you today. So congratulations to all of you. I welcome each and every one of our new graduates as members to the IUP Alumni Association. The congratulatory gift you receive from the association is a reminder that you share this university with more than 130,000 other alumni who have crossed this stage before you. And we do have the largest alumni association of any of the schools in the state system. You will always be a member of this IUP community, but today your membership status has changed now that you are alumni. And you should be very proud of that accomplishment. Because among our alumni are prominent journalists, policymakers, college presidents, CEOs of big corporations and small corporations. Inventors, scientists, educators, award-winning artists and musicians, clergy, Army generals, and experts who care for the health and well-being of people, families, and communities. IUP alumni are known for taking what they have experienced here and making a better world. And now it's your turn to make this a better world. As you embark on your life's next journey, please always remember that your relationship with IUP is symbiotic. You needed the university, and the university is always going to need you. So please, always feel free and welcome to come back and enjoy the university. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Ninoski. These are difficult times in our world, and I want to take a moment to recognize everyone who has served or who is now actively serving in our military or as first responders in your communities. Please stand to be recognized. You may be seated. Thank you all. We're now at the point of the ceremony when the graduates have the opportunity to pay tribute to the people who helped make this moment a reality for them. Would the parents, spouses, children, other family members, sponsors, and friends of our graduates please stand so that our graduates may show their appreciation by a round of applause. You may be seated, and thank you so much for your support. As we come to a close this morning, I would like to take a special moment to recognize our registrar, Bob Simon, who is retiring. He has chaired the commencement ceremony and committee for many years, and now that he has carefully watched over his last graduate ceremony, it's a good time to thank him for decades of service to IUP. Bob? I'd like to thank the graduation brass ensemble. Thank you, guys. Our vocalist today, Andrew Piper. The commencement committee that helps make this a possibility, and all others who helped to plan and carry out this ceremony today. This is a perfect day in nearly every way, except for the freezing rain thing. It took an extraordinary effort for you to get here today, and I want to say thank you for making that effort on behalf of our graduates. We have many volunteers and members of our service staff who also got up early this morning, made a treacherous trip in to help make this a possibility. I'd ask that we recognize them and their efforts, so please give a round of applause to all of our volunteers and staff. And perhaps on your way out, say hi and thank you to someone who's standing outside throughout the ceremony. Following the recessional this morning, we invite all the graduates and their guests to a reception in the Blue Room of Sutton Hall. At this time, please rise for the singing of the Alma Mater and the retiring of our colors. Please remain in your places until the platform party has recessed. Thank you.
A noble Alma Mater's name, we her children sing a joyful lay, and to her a new allegiance pledge that lives beyond our day. Sing, oh sing, our Alma Mater's praise. Hail, oh hail, her colors gleaming pure. Give to her our homage and our love, and to her name